All right, so this is the next narrative writing lesson. This would be the second lesson for this week, but it's technically the fifth lesson because last week you did 3 and you've just done the one from before, so this is the fifth one, but it's the second one this week. So if you were just listening to the previous video, then you know what we were just doing. But if you've gone to the next day, then last day you picked a topic and you answered some pre-writing questions, just like about why you chose this topic and why it's important to you. So now we are looking at the slide that says Thursday. So, sequence of events plot diagram. So, on a lined piece of paper, can you draw that plot? And you're going to plot your story on here. Okay? So think about what's the exposition in your story. What's the conflict? What's the rising action? What's the most exciting part of your story, the climax? What happens after the climax, the falling action? And how does the story end? So before you start writing, we can read my sample on the next page. Okay. So remember I'm writing the story about baby Liam being born. So the exposition is my sister and her husband are expecting their first baby. Everyone's really excited. Everybody was prepared for another week before he was born. So remember, exposition is setting the stage, just giving a little bit of background information. So this is probably where I explain, this is a story that happened to my sister, but it's our family experience. The conflict, my sister messages me letting me know she's been having some pain, so they're going to the hospital to check it out. I'm waiting to hear from them about what the doctor said. No one was expecting what was going to happen at all. So the rising action, I visit my parents at their apartment. I receive a message from my brother-in-law with a photo of my sister in a hospital bed and gown holding a baby. Everyone is totally shocked. I honestly think it's a prank at first. So that's the rising action. The climax, after a few back and forth messages, we all realize this is not a joke and that the baby is here. My parents and I frantically put on our shoes and we run to the hospital across the street. So luckily my parents live right across from Lionsgate Hospital on Lonsdale, so we were very close. So the falling action, we get to the hospital, the nurse asks us to sit in the waiting room. While they finish cleaning up the baby, the nurse leads us into the room. We all get to meet baby Liam and see how tiny he is. They announce his name is Liam Michael Lane Chow. And then the resolution. So how does the story end? Everyone takes a turn holding Liam. We're laughing, we're smiling, asking tons of questions. This is also where you think about what type of conclusion this is. So remember from our last PowerPoint, we thought about what type of conclusion would you be having. So remember there's moral, there's like a moral to the story, which this one isn't really a moral. There is prediction, where you think about what will happen in the future. Or there's revelation, which this would be, where you think about how this has changed you or changed your family So this for me is a revelation conclusion because it's a new chapter and we're all on a new journey together. So the next slide here tells you the 3 types of conclusions if you can't remember. Okay, so that's now the end of this lesson. So all you have to do is draw the plot diagram and think about what goes in each section. So if you're having a trouble thinking about the climax, it's the most exciting part of the story and usually where something changes. Okay, so it's the most exciting part and usually when there's a big change. So you can end the video now. That's the end of the lesson. And if you'd like to keep watching right now, just go to the next video or you can wait until the next day, which is Friday.